What's up, Bird Gang? Welcome to my new channel. I'm Ozzy. And before I start this video, make sure you guys subscribe, comment, like, and put on your post notification bells so you can be alerted whenever I drop a new video. And I'm actually excited about this. I'll be talking about the draft coming up, a lot of Eagle discussions, the season, can't wait for that to start, OTAs, training camp, all that good stuff. And right now, I'm just gonna be on my phone looking at the NFL app, if you guys have it. And today we're actually gonna talk about the draft is in a week. Can't wait for that. I know you guys are excited too. And I know everybody's hoping the Eagles take a wide receiver with the 21st pick, but I honestly don't know what to think because Howie is unpredictable at times. And so yeah, we're gonna start by talking about the wide receivers in this draft, see if there's any worth taking at the 21st pick, or maybe we should trade down or trade up for. So let me look for the wide receivers list. First, the top receiver is CeeDee Lamb at Oklahoma. So, I feel like, in my opinion, he might be the only one worth trading up for. There might be a couple of trade partners for them. I'm thinking maybe the Jets or maybe the 49ers. Because the 49ers, I think they might need to trade back for some picks. So I think that might be a good trade candidate, but I feel like the Eagles might have to give up too much, and I'm not sure we should do that, especially because we need a lot of help, with the linebacker position, the safety position, cornerback. So, yeah, so with CeeDee Lamb, honestly, I think he's just an explosive player. He could break tackles, just the number one receiver. When you draft him, you know what you're going to get. And I just feel like, if you have a trade for him that is worth it, I think you should do it. Jerry Jeudy, I feel like he's explosive, but I feel like the Eagles aren't interested in him, so maybe not worth trading up for. And he's not gonna fall to 21. We all know that. But if we do trade up, I believe we have to trade up before the Broncos or the other teams, because they might draft a wide receiver. The Raiders have a couple picks in the first round. Not sure how many, but yeah, I'm just on the NFL app, so I'm just looking to see what the draft picks are. I heard the Cleveland Browns might be interested in trading back, so that's going to be interesting to look out for. But everyone expects the Eagles to get a wide receiver in the first round. I honestly don't see it happening. I feel like the Eagles, instead of trading up, might trade back. They might just get either a wide receiver in the second round, or maybe I've been hearing a lot of hype about Justin Jefferson falling at 21 for the Eagles. LSU wide receiver, very explosive. You saw him in the national championship or in the playoffs. He was a beast. But I believe he plays the outside too, but he's more of a slot, and we need an outside wide receiver because Deshaun Jackson in the slot is explosive. He's always gonna make plays, so I feel like you need a true number one. And if you get CeeDee Lamb on the outside with Deshaun Jackson inside, and then with Alshon Jeffrey, I don't even know what's gonna happen with Alshon Jeffrey, honestly. If we keep him, then we keep him. If we don't, we might not get much for him. We might just lose cap. So that's gonna be interesting. JJ Arcega-Whiteside, he was just thrown into the fire real quick. He dropped the pass in the Lions game to win the game, to score a touchdown, but he dropped in. He's been bashed, and kind of feel bad for him, but not really. It's Philly, so had that right. So yeah, honestly, JJ Arcega-Whiteside, I feel like he's gonna have a bounce back year, and it's like I said, this draft is unpredictable. I really don't feel like the Eagles are going to draft a wide receiver in the first round. They might trade back to get more picks later on. This draft is really deep, guys. Like the wide receivers, the corners, the linebackers, defensive tackles, and so I just feel like you can get a number one wide receiver in the second round with maybe Jalen Reagor, I believe, if he falls from TCU, I believe. If he falls, I doubt it, but if he does, he could be a good number one. Denzel Mims could be a good number one from Baylor. Really he's really tall. You know, he's about 6'3", I believe. Not really 6'3". Really tall, really lanky, but he could be a really good number one if we get a good spot for him. If we get to 21, I feel like we're reaching. You know, so let me see. Let me look for the wide receiver. Here you go. Look. So T. Higgins from Clemson. Honestly, I'm not sold on him completely. I feel like he'll be good in the NFL, but I feel like the Eagles have a history of drafting tall wide receivers that aren't really fast but don't get any separation. Higgins might be good for another team, but for the Eagles, I feel like we need playmaker, explosiveness, yards after the catch, someone that can just take the roof off of a defense or just be as explosive as Deshaun Jackson or that number one wide receiver that we've been missing for a long time. So like I said, on Lamb, I feel like he's my number one go-to. If you can trade up, you get him. If you're maybe trade up to get Ruggs, but not too much. Maybe he might even fall. You never know. And Reagor, I like Reagor. Honestly, I feel like he's explosive for his length as well. He has a really good burst after the catch. If he's open, he's gone. I feel like that goes unnoticed a lot. I've heard a lot of tweets saying that the wide receivers in this draft, like the first 5 or 7 that get drafted, are most likely to be number one wide receivers, and have a lot of success in NFL. The other, like the later rounds, are more contributors. Like they'll give you some yards, some touchdown catches, but none of them are really meant to blow up and be number one receivers. But another explosive player is KJ Hamler, I believe, from Penn State. He's really explosive, but I don't really think the Eagles get him unless it's like he falls to the third or late second, unless he falls to the third. But if you're gonna draft a wide receiver, we need to get number one. CeeDee Lamb, if you trade up. Other than that, Jefferson, if he falls to you, or so that's pretty much it for the wide receiver. Moving on to the cornerback position. I know I've been hearing a lot of rumors about Russell Douglas being traded. I feel like he is going to get traded maybe on draft day. Depends if we're doing it for a pick, move back or move up. He might be involved. Might just be a player for player swap. But at this point, the cornerbacks, the top ones are honestly might be gone before the Eagles even pick. And I don't see the Eagles going for a corner in the first round. And of course, the Eagles, I believe, honestly, for this draft, I feel like linebacker, cornerback, wide receiver, safety, like they all need to be addressed. Center, because Jason Kelce might retire after this season. Defensive tackle, the Eagles are always looking. Edge, Eagles are always looking, see what's available. Linebacker, people assume that we might get a top linebacker, but if one falls to the 4th round, 5th round, you never know. You might get lucky, you might get a star that falls. You honestly just have to hit on the draft. You have to do your homework on all of them. Corners, Akuda might go to the Lions, might go to someone else, but he's gonna be the first one off the board. Like I said, all the top corners are gonna go before the Eagles pick, and even if there are some when the Eagles pick, I don't see them taking anybody of them. One quarterback prospect that just like I love that is intriguing is Amik Robertson from, I believe it's Tech, from LA Tech, Louisiana Tech. He's only 5'8", so people bash his height, but he can ball. He's physical. He don't care. He's not scared of anybody. I feel like he's a perfect player to have in Philly. To bring that swag, to bring that energy, to bring that fire. So I feel like if the Eagles could get him in the 3rd, 4th round, maybe 5th if he falls because of his height. Like I said, a lot of teams look into that and they want to get a tall, lanky corner, and they're just. So I feel like if the Eagles could get him, that's my top corner prospect in the later rounds, of course. But if the Eagles could get him, I think that would be a steal. That would be a huge upgrade already. I know a lot of fans probably won't like that just because of his height, like I said, but if you can get him, he's really a physical player. He's gonna make plays and he's gonna go head up with their best player, any team's opposing player. So that's why I kind of like him as a corner. That's pretty much for the corner. Like I said, for the cornerbacks, if you get Amik Robertson, that's a win every day. So yeah, moving on to the linebackers. Um, I've heard a lot of mock drafts having the Eagles take Queen from LSU, Patrick Queen, if he falls in the first or maybe in the second round. But I don't see the Eagles taking the linebacker since they really don't value linebacker as much as defensive tackles and edge pass rushers or edge rushers. So I mean, looking at these linebackers, the top 10, they have like Dye from Oregon or Brooks from Mississippi State, Gay Jr. All of them, they might be in the fourth, fifth round available still. If the Eagles could get one of them in that particular time of the draft, fourth, fifth, I think that's a win. You have to hit because the Eagles haven't really hit in a linebacker. Nate Gary transitioned from safety to linebacker. Not bad, but he doesn't have the size as much as all the other ones in the draft or everybody else. I feel like the Eagles are probably one of the teams that's dead last in the NFL and linebackers, and that needs to be fixed, needs to be addressed because just a lot of running backs in this draft are gonna be really good. So yeah, if the Eagles do get a linebacker in this draft, I expect it to be late. If they do get one in the first or second round, I'll be very surprised. But like I said, Howie doesn't, or the defense, the team doesn't value linebackers as much. However, defensive tackles, I would not be surprised at all if the Eagles do get an edge rusher or a defensive tackle in the first round or second round, just because the team values them that much and they're always looking and always doing the research on them. So I know you guys fans wouldn't like that to happen, but I wouldn't be surprised at all because that's how he is, how Jim Schwartz, all of them, that they value their defensive line. Yeah, so safety need to. Jalen Mills actually re-signed for 1 year to transition to safety. I think it's honestly a great move. I actually liked him at corner. I liked the swag that he brought. I liked that he wasn't afraid to hit. Just that confidence he brought. He did go for a lot of double moves. That's people call him double move Mills. So that's kind of why a lot of people didn't like him. But honestly, I think that transition to safety is going to help him a lot. I feel like he's a perfect person to replace Malcolm Jenkins for the time being. We re-signed Rodney McLeod. I believe it's also for 1 year or 2 years. Not sure. Not quite sure what the contract was, but I think that was a solid move as well. Having someone alongside. I feel like they're gonna use Jalen Mills more as a hybrid linebacker, which is honestly the best thing you could do right now at the moment. Like I said, considering our lack of help at linebacker. Oh, at linebacker, I think honestly the Eagles should give a shot to TJ Edwards. When he was in the game, I feel like he stepped up a lot. I feel like he did good. He wasn't bad, and I feel like for being an undrafted rookie, I believe, if I'm mistaken, correct me, but I believe he was undrafted. And honestly, I think he stepped up. Even preseason when I saw him, I thought he was really good. So that to me was kind of gave me confidence in the linebackers. I feel he can step up. We lost Cam Rouge-Hill. I think he signed with the Dolphins. Yes, the Dolphins. We lost him. I liked him too. A high energy player, brought swag as well, but I feel a little bit undersized. Great special teams player, and that's also one thing that the Eagles value: special team players. So that's something to keep an eye out for. So yeah. So for safeties, like I said, they have re-signed Jalen Mills, Ryan McLeod. since Jalen Mills is going to be a hybrid type safety linebacker, they're going to use him in the box more as they did with Malcolm Jenkins, which is why Malcolm Jenkins played the box a lot. So they had Ronnie McLeod and they had Andrew Sandejo for a little bit until we traded him for the Viking safety, which I honestly forgot his name. Honestly, I think Epps, something like that. Name with Epps. So this safety class isn't too deep, but I feel like you can get some really good players late in the draft, unless you get the safety from LSU, Grant Delpit. Him, of course, he's one of those safeties that he made plays. He's a good hitter. Not sure how he is with injuries or what, but I believe they have him going in the second round. Not sure. Winfield Jr. He's also one of the top safeties. So like I said, the safeties that they have are more late round picks. I believe the one safety linked to the Eagles is Kayvon Wallace from the Clemson. Not sure if I got his name right or not, but yes, him. And then like I said, McKinney from Alabama, I believe it should be a first round pick, and then the rest should probably be second or third. There's gonna be some players that fall in this draft, and honestly, I feel like the Eagles should take advantage of it. You saw last year, Eagles could have got DK Metcalf, and they got J.J. Arcega-Whiteside, and a lot of fans were upset at that. Honestly, I was kind of upset at that too. I felt like we should have drafted him. You saw what he did to us in the playoffs. Man, rough times. But yeah, as far as safety, Eagles aren't gonna take a safety early in the draft. It's gonna be late. Like I said, in the first, second, or third rounds, I wouldn't be surprised at all if the Eagles do take a defensive lineman, or maybe wide receiver in the second. I want them to take a wide receiver in the first if it's CeeDee Lamb. If not, then maybe Jefferson. But I don't want them to, over pursue someone that isn't worth the picks if they have to trade up for or trade back for. If you don't get CeeDee Lamb or Jefferson, I suggest you just trade back and get some more picks, and you still get Rieger or Mims that could fill in your number one spot since week one. So that's one thing to look out for. And yeah, so running backs, I heard that I believe the Eagles do want to fill the running back position as backup to Miles Sanders, kind of like the 1-2 punch, or just another playmaker, I believe, if he has to sit out or just needs a breather. But I don't see them taking a running back early, maybe 6th, 7th round, maybe 4th if someone falls. Like I said, I'm not too sure, but I know they do want to draft a running back. Miles Sanders for sure is the number one back this year. Some dude was balling towards the end of the year. I was actually hoping the Eagles would get on the ball more in the beginning of the year, because honestly, if you watch his Penn State highlights, you would know that he was gonna be a baller. So I was excited when he was drafting him. I couldn't wait, and it was just a beautiful thing watching him torch the Cowboys. So you can't be mad at that. And as far as the running backs, I really don't see them taking a power back, unless they want like a Jordan Howard type back. But I feel like maybe they wouldn't re-sign him if that's what they wanted. I also heard that the Jags are having trade rumors about Leonard Fournette. I'm not sure if the Eagles would be interested in him, especially because if you trade for Leonard Fournette, he's going to be your number one back. The Eagles aren't going to have Leonard Fournette as the number one back. He's either going to be the power back, like the LeGarrette Blount type, to Miles Sanders, the backup, but I don't think Leonard Fournette would be okay with that, especially since I feel like he doesn't get along with his teammates. Not saying he's a bad guy or anything, but that's what the rumors are going around, that him and the teammates don't get along, or the coaching staff. So it's gonna be interesting because I believe he only has not that big of a cap hit this year. So if you do trade for him, you'll probably be giving up a 4th or a 5th, and that cap hit for the year if you want it for 1 year. But I just don't see the Eagles making that move, especially if you're not gonna extend him more. sign him. So yeah, so that's pretty much. I heard that the Eagles are interested in a running back from UCLA, Kelly. Not too sure. Maybe the running back from LSU, Edwards, or Akers from Florida State. Not too sure. I know they might add it back in the late picks, but like I said, honestly, like this draft is so unpredictable. It's so unpredictable because you don't know where the Eagles are gonna go. The Eagles couldn't, you know, have contact with literally anybody because of the quarantine, so they can't meet up. So it's basically just FaceTime calls with all the players that they're interested in. You know, so this draft is honestly gonna go a lot crazier and wilder than people believe. Like I just don't see all these wide receivers going in the first round. Um, honestly believe that Henry Ruggs might fall because I honestly think that he might fall. You got Jerry Jeudy, CeeDee Lamb, Chanel Jr. Also forgot to mention him. Jefferson, Ruggs, Higgins, Rieger, Ayuk, I believe, Mims, Pittman Jr. I just don't see 5 or 6 going in the first round. You know, so but like I said, draft is unpredictable. I just feel like right now the mocks are kind of nowhere near what the draft is gonna be. I heard Tua, the QB, might be falling, and if that's true, then I feel like the team that was interested in him was gonna draft him might trade back, or just might look for a different need. As far as tight ends, I actually believe the Eagles as well might be interested in a tight end in the later rounds. We have Zach Ertz and Darius Goddard. Perkins is the third, I believe. But the Bears just released Trey Burton, and honestly, if he does like a Philly friendly discount deal, I wouldn't mind having him back. Just for the fact that he's played with us, he won a Super Bowl with us. Like how can you forget the Super Bowl, the pass to Nick Foles, the Philly, and I just feel like the Bears didn't use him right, or maybe Mitch Trubisky wasn't a good quarterback compared to Wentz to give him the ball as much. He was actually injured a lot with the Bears, so it kind of sucks to see him like that and not get the chance he deserved. But yeah, if he comes back to Philly in a friendly, discount deal, I wouldn't mind having him back. Zach Ertz, Darius Goddard, Trey Burton. If Zach Ertz, the Eagles have this luck with injuries that we need 3 tight ends just to be, set for the year. Might need 3 or 4 running backs, 2, 3 QBs. QBs as well. They might even need to draft a QB. So, like I said, the Eagles honestly might just trade back just to get more picks. That's honestly, I feel like the right move at the moment. Like I said, unless you're getting CeeDee Lamb, I don't see any other player, wide receiver, that is worth getting picked at 21, honestly. So I believe they're interested in the QB from Hawaii, McDonald. He has I think his highlight is pretty decent for maybe a 6th, 7th pick. Might even go undrafted. I feel like he'd be a good backup if he takes Nate Suffield's spot. Nate Suffield has been pretty good for a backup, pretty reliable. He stepped up when he needed him to, but we might need more developmental back. You know what you're getting with Suffield, so another QB, you know what you're getting, and you can develop him in case Carson Wentz gets hurt. I know people label Carson Wentz as injury prone, but honestly, I'm not too worried about it. In the playoffs, I felt like he took a cheap shot. It's true. He was really on the way down. Jaden Clowney hit him in the back of his head. Unfortunately, he got a concussion when he went out of the game. Josh McCown, I'm not going to bash him. He did good, and honestly did good coaching the team, bringing them up, and he almost came back in that game, So, but I believe Josh McCown is on the coaching staff. I'm not too sure if I remember that correctly, but I think him and Carson Wentz will be it'll be good to have him for Carson Wentz. Doug Peterson, honestly, I think he's done an amazing job with this team. We never quit. That's one thing I love about this Philly team, that we never quit. So I think Doug Peterson, Howie Roseman, and Jim Schwartz, the whole coaching staff has done a good job with that. And honestly, losing Malcolm Jenkins, at first I was kind of upset about it. Especially, I was actually more upset after the deal he signed with the Saints, just because I know the Eagles could have paid him that. But I understand they wanted to get younger and go a different direction. Especially, I kind of love the move more once they signed Jalen Mills to replace him in that hybrid safety linebacker role. So now I'm not too mad at it. I understand they need to get younger, and I'm all for it. I believe right now our cornerback. Oh, and the Darius Slay trade. We gave up, I believe, a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick. I believe. Let me check quick. Yeah, so it was a 3rd round pick and a 5th round pick, and we gave him a contract extension. So we know for sure that one side of the field is gonna be locked down. We have Avonte Maddox. I believe we got our slot corner as well, or nickel corner, Nikhil Coleman, something like that. I think honestly it was a great pickup for the price we got him for, especially after like 2 weeks after free agency. So I think that was a great move. So yeah, I just feel like this draft is gonna go way different than anybody expects. I feel like there's no lock in this draft. The Eagles, we know for sure Eagles want to get QB, they want to get a linebacker, they want to get a corner, they want to get a safety, and a wide receiver. I heard they might even double up on a wide receiver, but I just don't see it happening unless we trade back 4 picks, or maybe trade Rasul Douglas or Alshon Jeffrey. Rasul Douglas, honestly, up and down. I liked him his rookie year. I thought he did really good, and I thought he was gonna have a breakout year. Didn't turn out like that, as you can see in the trade block. So I heard rumors that the Eagles might also were in discussions or entertaining the rumor that they might trade for, I believe, Jaguars defensive end Yannick. I believe he was posting pictures of the Eagles trying to get to a trade for him, but I just feel like the price would be way too high. We don't have the cap hit for next year or the years to come for him like that. But with Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, I believe I saw Hayward from the Steelers. I think that was a great pickup as well. And then we have Derek Barnett. Derek Barnett, honestly, I don't know if the Eagles would trade him unless they get something good return. I feel like he might have a breakout year, but we've been saying that for a while now, so I feel like only time will tell. We traded for Avery for the Browns, and the Eagles say they might use him more this year. Not sure. Like I said, we'll have to see how that plays out. We have, I believe we kept Vinny Curry. We just have a lot of depth in the line. So, like I said, this draft's gonna not shake out the way people think it is. I guess this is good. I hope players fall to the Eagles. We get a good wide receiver. It's either a hit and miss with this team, honestly. I feel like you either draft a number one, or if you want, like I said, if you want to hit, you trade up and you get CeeDee Lamb. If you really like him, you trade up and get him. And if you're interested in Mims, you want to get him, you take him at 21, if that's the player you want. If you want Rieger, you take him at 21. If the player you want is falling, then you trade back, you get him. Eagles might be interested in the center. I believe they might be going second, third round, the top 2-3 centers. Not too sure how I feel about that. I understand it's a necessity, so I think 1 year with Jason Kelce can help a lot. Andre Ditter's going to take over since we released Jason Peters. I think he's ready. Honestly, I feel like he stepped up when we needed him to. We have Lane Johnson, Brandon Brooks. So it's going to be interesting to see how this all shakes out, Carson Wentz, Miles Sanders, Deshaun Jackson, you know what you're going to get from them. Boston Scott did a good job fitting in for him as a second back. Honestly, didn't expect much from him, but I feel like he filled that Darren Sproles role perfectly. Like he couldn't have done any better, you know. So I'm kind of excited for him to get a shot. Greg Ward stepped up, just amazing story. You know, preseason getting cut, coming back, show a lot of heart. I feel like he deserves a shot in the slot. Honestly, that rhymed again. He deserves a shot to show what he can do in a starting role in preseason with the starters. He made big plays. So the first day against the Seahawks, I believe, a lot of catches, first downs, yard after the catch. You saw that the Redskins game, the game-winning touchdown. I believe it was a game-winning touchdown on Josh Norman, and just incredible story. You know, we have Greg Ward in slot, Deshaun Jackson. Deshaun Jackson can play outside or inside, but we need a true number one to go on the other side. Just if you're gonna get a speedster, then I suggest you go KJ Hamler. If you want a real number one, you get CeeDee Lamb. Simple as that. So, yeah, it's gonna be pretty much for this video. You know, get an idea of what I expect the Eagles to do and what people think they might do, getting their opinions, and not if they're gonna trade up and trade back, they're gonna stay. Honestly, nobody really knows right now. I feel like this whole getting Jefferson thing is a whole smoke screen. Mims, interested in Mims, smoke screen. Honestly, the Eagles could probably be interested in T. Higgins for all I know. But, yeah, so we're going to have to wait for that. I am planning to do a live reaction of the Eagles draft picks. It's coming up next week. I'm excited for that. Let me know where you guys going to be at. You know, obviously at home. But, you're going to watch it alone, I guess. Unless you're going to watch it with your family. If they're Eagle fans, I'm most likely to watch it alone, maybe with my son, put a shirt on him. Yeah, so I'm thinking about just doing a live reaction of their picks. It's gonna be interesting to see how they do it, just for the fact that I believe Roger Goodell's gonna announce the picks from his basement. So yeah, what other videos am I planning to do? Trade rumors coming up. I believe there's gonna be some rumors that I've heard. I might talk about that. I might discuss some more picks. Can't wait to talk about your opinions on the draft, and discussing about the season coming up. And yeah, thank you guys for watching this video, and make sure you guys comment, subscribe, put your post notifications on, and get alerted. And I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.